Hello, 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 my darlings. Hello, Chanel's angels. How are y'all? I'm back on here earlier. I was on here doing some other stuff, so go check out my earlier video if you are so inclined. Just clearing up some mess and, having unfortunate YouTube beef out here in these YouTube streets, but I don't beef with nobody really. So once it's dead to me, it's dead to me. And at this point, that whole situation with regard to what happened and or may still be happening is dead to me. But the drama keeps coming on in about Mr. Jayz and his alleged uh child that he allegedly had with his alleged child's mom allegedly when she was 15 or 16, which is the same age Foxy Brown was when she came on the scene with Against the Lean with Mr. Jayz. And so apparently and allegedly, let me say this, everything on Chanel's Reality is in my opinion and it's for entertainment purposes only, and it is all alleged. Like I said, I don't know none of these people. I wasn't there. But let me just say this. I've known for a while, or I'll just say this, just from my little uh deep dive, so to speak, into some of these people in the entertainment industry's lives, it's just like these people are savages. And we all know that the entertainment industry has a tendency to be and a reputation to be savages. It's all about the money, and a lot of people, they probably come in with the best intentions and then get sucked into the crazy, and next thing you know, they a whole different person. You don't even realize. Like, I look back at when Cat Williams did that I don't know if it was Pimp Chronicles or whatever he was doing. He had on that green jacket. He called it mansion parties. I knew nothing about what the hell Cat Williams was talking about. I just thought he meant just rich people parties in Hollywood. Had no idea he was talking, most likely, in my opinion, about Diddy and maybe Jay-Z's brunch or whatever it is. I didn't know because I wasn't aware. I knew nothing about any of the stuff. I didn't know about Bill Cosby, or, well, I can't say I didn't know about R. Kelly because we all kind of found out about R. Kelly because I was the same age as Aaliyah. Well, she might have been a year or two older than me, but we were roughly around the same age. So it's a whole bunch of people in this industry that are savages, especially sexually. Just saying. And when you go down to some of these rabbit holes, at first you like, nah, I don't believe this and I don't believe that. But it's like these people keep coming up with, bodies. You just sort of be like, or the connections that they have to these pedos. Because I don't have pedo friends. So I don't know why anybody would have friends that are pedos and shake hands and be in pictures with people. Not saying that you can't be in a picture with somebody before you know, and even after but it's not even an intentional picture. You just happen to be there, and then someone says smile, and the person's in the picture with you. So sometimes that happens. But after you can't say you don't. So in at least in Jay-Z's case, he knew what happened to Aaliyah. I ain't gonna really put allegedly on that. The reason I say he knew what happened to Aaliyah because the world knew that R. Kelly married her at 15. So you doing music with this man, you don't never see nothing. Just like I believe he knew what was going on with Diddy. Now I can't say all that he knew, but you doing all these business transactions with this man and y'all partying and he's saying you the only person that can call him Sean and all this kind of other elitist bullshit. And then suddenly you go silent like the rest of the industry. That ninja must have all of y'all on some sort of tape somewhere. He blackmailing all of y'all motherfuckers like, say something if you try me not. And the crazy part is I ain't watching none of what ever happened with that trial. But allegedly, from what I understand, uh Diddy just basically got charged with the same thing Epstein got charged with it, which is actually um prostitution. We gonna so when they charge somebody with something like eliciting prostitution or whatever it is, that's saying we don't give a shit. We don't give a shit about what happened to the victims because we're not even gonna let them come to court and say they part, because that's exactly what happened with Epstein. He came in that court, the victims had no opportunity to talk back, to say he did this to me, none of that. He came in, he signed a little paper and went on about his business until they got him, I think, on the trafficking or something else later. But it was years of that. and nobody had a word, heard a word or a peep from the victims for the most part. And that's what seemingly happened with Diddy. It seems like a lot of people have been convinced that, okay, well, these people got on the witness stand and said, they was into it and they this, that, and the third. Let's be clear. Wasn't what happened to Shine very similar? Shine was somewhere, got, made a mistake, did whatever it is he did. And then suddenly he thinking Diddy is on his team. And meanwhile, Diddy sending people to go, and this is all alleged. Like I said, I don't know none of these people. I wasn't there. But meanwhile, Diddy is over here sending people to testify against him. So we gonna believe that Diddy's smart enough to go get people to testify against the guy. So you never have to, see the inside of a jail and let that man sit in jail for 9.5 years. Have a whole witness that say this dude shot me in the face, and y'all still don't do anything. He still don't have no charges. He don't even serve a day in jail. How? So if you think he capable of doing that, and you don't think he's capable of telling these people, yeah, you go on this witness stand, and this is what you're gonna say, it's to make it a mockery. And people are like, oh, well, he shouldn't have been. They should have charged him with that anyway. You really believe that? You want this man to come work at your school with your daughter? I just don't understand how people can't put themselves in that other person's shoes. Like, to me, if you can't see that this man belongs in jail, then you probably agree with the bullshit. Because how do you compartmentalize things that we know to be true? We know he was beating the brakes off of Cassie. We saw it. But you still think this man don't deserve to go to jail for nothing? And you saying, and I really hope he get time served. It's like, so then y'all are the same. Two peas in a pod. I'm never going to be riding for, regardless of whatever case that the what is it called? The prosecution can't seem to make. It doesn't matter. There's a whole bunch of people that should be in jail for life and got away with it just because the DA or the whomever the prosecution wasn't able to prove it. But that doesn't mean that this person still isn't a fucking savage. And you cool with that? Yeah. Chanel ain't ever gonna be cool with it. And it ain't changing over here. I ain't ever gonna be cool with some bullshit like that. Regardless if this person was able to justice to be brought to them or not, the fact that you still think it's okay, they can kind of just be like, well, this was some bullshit. It's like, wow. So we know that this man had done some savage shit to other people. We know this for a fact. And you cool with it? You cool with him not going to jail for beating the brakes off of Cassie for the rest of his life the way he did, and then drug her back in the room and still probably beat the shit out of her? The only reason in my mind you could ever be cool with that person not going to jail for having that type of savage behavior and everything else you kind of really know about him is if you could see yourself being in that situation and you wouldn't want to go to jail because you feel justified in doing whatever the hell you did to that girl. That's the only reason I can see. And it ain't changing over here on Chanel's reality. So it is what it is. You could like it or not. I don't care. I'm always going to stand on what I like and what I know to be true. So, and what I know to be true is he's a fucking savage of epic proportions. And so, you could have your opinion, but just understand your opinion is wrong. And it's just, I don't even understand. Well, I do understand because people are savages. Some people, not all people. Let me make sure this is, because this looks like I'm live, but then when I go to my YouTube, it doesn't really look live. So let me make sure. Let's see. Why won't it let me? Like, I try to click on the thing and it won't let me click on my own video. What is going on? That's weird. Okay, let me try to click on it on my phone. Let's see. See, it still won't let me click on it. This is some craziness. How is that possible? So let me try to see if I can go live over here. Let's see. This shit is crazy. Okay, it'll let me click on my. This is weird, but okay. It's weird. All right. So anyway, let's get into it. So we're gonna do like a little deep dive. This one is gonna be probably pretty long. Because we're gonna go through all of the stuff with Jay-Z and Beyonce, and then we're gonna kind of go down the little rabbit hole about Aaliyah. So let's get into it. Hit that like button, peeps. Oh, I gotta go and push play on the other channel.
Jay-Z is fighting back in court. Jay-Z is responding to a lawsuit filed by Ramir Satterthwaite, a 32-year-old man who claims the rapper is his father. According to a recent filing obtained by E! News, the rapper is accusing Ramir, as well as Ramir's godmother and caretaker, Lily Cooley, of harassing him for years over claims that Ramir is Jay-Z's son. In the court documents submitted on June 16th, Jay-Z slams a recent lawsuit that Ramir and Lily filed against him as just the latest in what he says has been decades-long harassment. The documents read, "The fabricated allegations and claims have been addressed and rejected in multiple other courts, and plaintiffs' continued harassment of defendant and disregard of those orders has already resulted in a contempt order." The filing asks that a judge allow Jay-Z additional time to respond to the lawsuit, claiming that despite the lawsuit being filed on May 6th, the suit was not properly served and Jay-Z did not learn of its existence until June 3rd. The Grammy winner's legal team therefore requests an additional 4 weeks to evaluate the complaint and determine how to respond or otherwise plead. The lawsuit also alleges that Jay-Z has neither affirmatively acknowledged nor legally denied his parental relationship with Ramir. E! News has reached out to both Jay-Z and Ramir for comment, but has not yet heard back.
So that's Jay-Z's point of view.
Katie Holmes reunites with.
So I don't know, child, but that's his perspective. His perspective, I guess, is, oh my God, what is happening? Sorry, y'all. I don't know what's happening on the E! Network, but so I guess that's Jay-Z's perspective, which is that he's being harassed, not that he's the person that is refusing to take a DNA test. So we're gonna go ahead and stop sharing that screen and go to the next one. Okay. So to stick on the Ramir thing, we'll skip SLOAN Bella for now, and we'll just listen about Jay-Z and the Ramir. Ramir is the guy who is claiming he is Jay-Z's son, or thinks that he's Jay-Z's son. So let's just see. Hold on. Okay.
So Jay-Z is trending because the judge has granted his alleged son, Ramir, his request to move forward with his paternity case against Jay-Z. And the judge has demanded that Jay-Z respond to the recent filing by July 18th. Well, you know who has been fueling this tea? Yep, good old 50 Cent. Now, I'm personally not surprised that 50 is the one spreading this tea. But you know what? He also has Nicki Minaj joining the bandwagon. Nicki reposted 50's post on X and was like, "Is this why he was trending the other day? IDK. To God be the glory." Well, allegedly, Beyonce is also out here blocking the case and once again influencing it, just like Ramir's godmother said a while back.
Beyonce's thing came when a friend of mine who knew her, somebody in her camp, and she said something, supposedly, this is all hearsay, about regarding saying Ramir needs to go away, little boy, something to that effect. There was something out there.
And let me pause right
here. The song
here.
they made. And then next thing I know, somebody was at my property.
So listen, this white lady right here, I don't remember her name. Oh, I think it's on here, Liz Clark or whatever. This lady, and this is just sidebar, she, so there's this person, this other lady, I think her name's Kathy White, and she allegedly was rumored to have some sort of affair with Jay-Z as well, allegedly, and allegedly was was pregnant with his baby, allegedly, and then she suddenly died of a brain aneurysm. So the white lady, where I have my arrow, she worked, I think, for Star Magazine, some like salacious type news outlet. Not real news, but salacious celebrity type news. What the hell are they in there doing? Jesus. So she was doing a story about, she had, I guess, allegedly had reached out to Kathy White, the lady who's no longer living. God bless her, rest her soul in heaven or peace or whatever. The white lady was like, I have this little piece of information that says that you and Jay-Z, you were his mistress or something like that. And initially, it was like, no. And then I feel like a few days after Jay-Z's alleged mistress, Kathy White, passed away, the white lady was calling, because she had finally reached her at work. At first, she couldn't really get in contact with her. And at first, she was just kind of like, yeah, no. And then, according to the white lady, she was going to go on record basically saying that she did have some sort of relationship with this man. But then when she was trying to get in touch with her again, she called her work. And by then, the lady had been dead for, I feel like, a few days or something like that. So even if you like, okay, yeah, that could be a coincidence, it just seems like, like I said, when you go down these rabbit holes, you just kind of be like, it's just too many bodies that be lining up in your wake. And I feel some type of way even about Mr. Ramir. His mom passed too. And I'm like, what she passed from? I feel like it's probably like cancer or something, but I could be wrong about that. So fact check me. Let me know in the comments. But like, I just would like to know what that lady passed of. Because there's a lot of people that suddenly have low bar pneumonia, healthy, normal people, that it doesn't really make sense to me. But I just wanted to give y'all that little tidbit about the white lady, her, because she knows some shit too about other people, like Lou Taylor. But let's keep moving on. Let's keep listening. And by the way, go follow Culture Cover, Culture Spilled. Love them. They give great content.
Somebody came to my property in the evening time and had a conversation about trying to get in.
Check out your new favorite everyday cargo pants. Multi-pants are cargo pants with the straight leg.
Through the back door.
But here's where it gets even more interesting. I've seen reports suggesting that the judge has allowed this case to move forward because Jay-Z is allegedly a part of nefarious activity covering up an immoral transporting scheme that landed him with a son, aka Ramir. People are also saying that Jay-Z has been refusing to respond to the allegations because he knows he is the father. I mean, if there's something I have noted is that Jay-Z doesn't hesitate about taking legal action when he believes someone is wrongfully after him. Did you see how he immediately cleared his name from allegations that he and Diddy S8 a 13-year-old? But now he won't step foot in court with this Ramir guy? There have been so many developments in this case. So let's just get right to it. Okay, based on reports, Jay-Z and his team have been working overtime to keep Ramir's case under wraps. But it looks like Ramir may finally get his paternity test, because like I said, there have been reports that a judge has allowed the case to move forward. I got my hands on the court documents, and the judge wrote in response to the latest filing by Lily Coley versus Sean Corey Carter, for the foregoing reasons, the court grants the ex parte application and orders that defendant's deadline to respond to plaintiff's complaint be extended to July 18, 2025. It is so ordered. Now, what Ramir has been trying to say over the years is that his mother, Wanda, slept with Jay-Z in 1992 at his aunt's apartment in Brooklyn, New York, after Jay-Z picked her up in Philadelphia. She apparently said that they used protection, but it failed, and she got pregnant. And other than a visit from Jay 2 weeks later, they never saw each other again, and she had no idea how to contact Jay-Z. Ramir also claimed that he was first told by his mother that she believed Jay-Z was his father when he was around 8 years old. Previously, although his mom's live-in boyfriend, Robert Graves, was originally listed on the birth certificate, he was legally removed in 2011 after a DNA test proved he was not the father. And Wanda told Ramir that she had only been with Robert and Jay-Z. And if Robert was not the father, boop, it only made sense that Jay-Z is the father. Of course, by now we also know that Jay-Z was refusing to take the paternity test because when he allegedly hooked up with Wanda, she was 16 and he was 22, which would mean that he actually committed a crime. This is actually something that Wanda's godmother previously noted when she said, I got a call from his in-house lawyer and they were very helpful, and we thought we would resolve this privately. They even talked about Ramir's music talent and whether it was a good time to put him on his record label, but he had to finish high school, so I said no. Suddenly, different lawyers got involved and their attitude completely changed. I think they realized there was more at stake for Sean, given that Wanda was not of age. Child, you know what's even worse? If Jay-Z's found to be the father, it would also mean that Jay-Z took Wanda across state lines when she was like 16 from Philadelphia to an apartment in Brooklyn, New York, where they had intercourse. And you know that's a whole other case. Well, Wanda actually tried to get Jay-Z to take responsibility back in the day, and she did file a civil lawsuit seeking child support from Jay. But that lawsuit was ultimately dismissed because it was filed in the wrong state and was never refiled. At the time, Jay-Z's lawyer also stated that Jay was not an interested party with respect to the custody of Ramir, so she could not continue with the fight. But Ramir took it up. Well, we all know how that went because Ramir was frustrated by the courts. And based on what he said, it was because Jay-Z was paying off his lawyers and the judges to make sure the case was shelved.
You got these lawyers that just frauding and putting anything they doing, anything they want basically in the courtroom, and the judges is just allowing this to go on. I honestly believe that both of them should be hold it responsible for this, because you guys, this is you guys' job. And if the judge can't see this or overlook it, I can understand a mistake, but just throughout the years, this continue to overlook fraud is just craziness to me. Like, come on, it's right there in your face. If you can't see that, then I don't know what else we can do to help you guys believe that it's something crazy going on with this case. Honestly, I just want everybody in the world just to keep their eyes open and just watch things that happen, that just like how things unfold, because it's crazy. It really is crazy. These judges, these lawyers, this fraud, this collusion, who knows what it's for, money or friendships or whatever they got going on. But I can honestly say that we should never go in the courtroom feeling like we're already the victims and we did nothing wrong.
He actually had to go all the way to the Supreme Court. But initially, the case was rejected by the Supreme Court because it did not have jurisdiction to reopen matters in the appeals court or to unseal records in the trial court. But it was then refiled by Ramir in the appellate division of the New Jersey Superior Court. But the process has still been very difficult. Jay-Z's legal team argued that he should be exempt from a DNA test in New Jersey as he didn't own or live at a property in the state. And as it stood, there was nothing Ramir could do legally to get Jay to agree to a paternity test. But get this, Ramir recently posted receipts saying that Beyonce's mother, Tina, admitted in her book that Jay-Z had New Jersey property during the time of his case. So yeah, he did have property in New Jersey. Well, all this back and forth could actually come to an end because the judge has said the case can move forward. And there are thousands of people rooting for Ramir to finally get his truth. And this time, Ramir has got people amplifying his case like 50 Cent and Nicki Minaj. And when I tell y'all that Nicki is stepping on Jay's neck, child, she's not holding back. She recently did her own expose after she reposted an interview done by Damari Hadley, the estranged daughter of Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez. In an interview, Dem, who is suing her mother for committing her to a mental institution, claimed that Roc Nation basically sabotaged Nicki Minaj and took away her freedom of speech. She also said that Roc Nation went after Nicki's family. They've attacked her husband, they've attacked her child, and it should really scare the American people.
She has been through some trauma.
Child. These damn commercials, honey.
And some of with Roc Nation, with Desiree Perez, with other individuals. What I can say about that is I've witnessed and heard a lot of things. Again, is hearsay, right? So it doesn't even matter. And that's why I'm not even going to go into detail with that. If I have the opportunity to speak with Nicki, would love to connect with her on that. But I've kind of seen, just like you firsthand, how they've kind of not kind of, they've abused of her platform. They abused her talents. They've abused of her freedom of speech. They've abused her family. They've attacked her husband. They've attacked her child. And it's sad. It's really sad. Somebody so resourceful, talented, high profile as Nicki Minaj being targeted. It should really scare the American people. It should really scare you guys too, right? Because I'm the daughter. So it's like, at this point, if it's happening to me, I think she's really outspoken, and I'm grateful that she's being outspoken on it, because I think she's almost seeing it like, well, it happened to me. It's happening to her. Let me speak up on it. Nobody is safe right now. And she's fed up. I think she's fed up because she's been through a lot.
Nicki has actually said a lot in the last few days, like how she implied that she's been sabotaged professionally by Jay-Z and his associates, saying that it's actually the real reason why she doesn't release music. She also said that an unnamed party had been seeking to damage her relationship with her spouse, Kenneth Petty, and that efforts to turn Petty against her have involved lies and friends in high places. In addition, Nicki also said that the social media accounts held by her and her followers were being shadow banned in a clear effort to injure her brand. She also exposed how Jay-Z owes her money, and now she's entered Ramir's chat, applying the pressure and fueling the narrative that Jay-Z should be forced to take that paternity test. Given the last updates, it looks like that could actually happen, and Ramir can finally put all this behind him. But even though we have people rallying behind him, we also have those questioning what he is really after. Does he want Jay-Z to pay him? Does he just want the truth to be known? Like, what's really his end game here? Well, according to what Ramir said recently, this case is not about Jay-Z agreeing or wanting to be his father and miraculously making up for all the years he lost. The case is about bad court judges and not getting fair due process, which caused his family to lose money with fraudulent court orders. Based on what he said, these court orders are still being used to obtain money, and they placed illegal liens on their home. He previously also said, "I don't want money or anything like that from Jay-Z. I just want him to finally tell the truth to the world. If you say I'm not your son and nothing ever happened with my mom, then just take the test. If you are telling the truth, then why is your first answer whenever you're asked to take a paternity test, no?" Basically, Ramir just wants a few things cleared up. One is that Jay-Z allegedly took Wanda across state lines when she was like 16 from Philadelphia to an apartment in Brooklyn, New York, where they had intercourse. 2, Jay-Z's lawyers lied in court when they claimed they misspoke. 3, Jay-Z has refuted the claims in court despite allegedly trying to settle them outside of court a long time ago. 4, Ramir said that someone tried to unalive him and was firing at him after he filed a civil suit against Jay-Z, and that intimidation tactics have been used against them for years. He even showed pictures of his car after being shot at and said that planted in his car and he was pulled over. I mean, aren't these the same intimidation tactics that were brought up by Damori Hadley against her mother and Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez? It's giving pattern. Honey, all I can say is things appear to be boiling nicely. And as we wait for Jay-Z to respond, since he has been ordered to do so by the court, let me know what you think about how this case is unfolding in the comments section below.
And I did it, and look what happened.
I think it's a conspiracy.
Everybody told me Jay was corny and whack. Everybody told me not to f with him. And I did it, and look what happened.
I think it's a conspiracy against me, you know, because in the absence of the truth, bullshit will prevail. So as long as nobody out there spitting real, you know, you can come up with anything.
How do you listen to a whole album, pick a single, shoot a video, then don't know? Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition. You know, because at first you retire, you know, then get me off the label. Now you're back rapping again. Okay.
Dame Dash is back at it again, airing out Jay-Z and his mentor, Layer Cohen. And this time, he's spilling tea about how these two allegedly teamed up to sabotage DMX. So now fans are on Jay's case again, calling him out on his hypocrisy, where he acts like he's all about the culture and elevating Black artists, when in fact, he has a long history of cutting his people down to get ahead. And now Dame is pulling back the curtain and dropping more details on how Jay and Layer allegedly took down and sacrificed Black artists to climb the ladder, including DMX. But the worst part, DMX saw what they were doing and he spoke up about it. But sadly, no one listened until it was too late.
The industry, man, it's not the same. Doesn't have to do with talent. It's about playing the game.
Seniors in Katy, ready to regain your strength and vitality? Imagine
The industry. Real niggas is dying to get in. The industry, just to find they don't fit in.
So we all know Dame Dash has had a one-sided beef with Jay-Z for years. And while a lot of people have accused Dame of being bitter and obsessed with Hov, if you ask Dame, the problem is much bigger than that. See, Dame has spoken about this many times, but it rarely gets reported on correctly. According to him, the main issue is not just Jay-Z, but the people Jay chose to team up with. People like Layer Cohen. And for Dame, these executives like Cohen make money off Black culture, while at the same time pushing an agenda to paint that culture as backwards and dangerous. And DMX was one of the first to notice this and speak on it publicly. Now, to give you some background, when Jay took over as president of Def Jam Records in 2004, replacing Layer Cohen, he gained full control of Rockefeller's catalog and basically pushed Dame and Biggs out. And for Dame, the hardest part wasn't just losing the label. It was seeing Jay betraying his own people and letting Layer use him like a puppet.
My beef was with Lior because I think he's a fake CEO and I think he's fronting on my culture, but he can't front on anybody else. You know what I mean? It was like they have people that their job is to create beef so that they can monetize it. Pause. But they don't let their culture feel it.
And one artist Dame felt Jay totally threw under the bus was DMX. Now, of course, Jay never admitted this, and he dismissed it as just DMX being super competitive. After X died, Jay showed up on LeBron James' show, and he claimed there was never any bad blood between them, and X simply loved to compete.
It was a competitive thing, but it was big love. He was so competitive with me. I never met a human being more competitive with me, like ever, not even my big brother.
But here's the thing. According to DMX, it was Jay who was always caught up in the competition. See, when Jay became president of Def Jam, DMX was already a huge star with 5 #1 albums to his name. But according to X, once Jay took over, he started getting in his way. X talked about this on The Breakfast Club, and he claimed Jay sabotaged him because he changed his mind about retirement and wanted to clear out the competition before making his big return.
Then don't know? Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition. You know, because at first you retire, you know, then get me off the label. Now you're back rapping again. Okay.
But there's more to why DMX didn't trust Jay, and it had a lot to do with Jay's connections to the real shot callers in the industry. See, DMX was very vocal about shady executives like Layer Cohen, and he believed they had way too much power over the artists.
A lot of the love I had for wanting to be a part of the industry is not there anymore. I don't even associate myself with the industry. You know what I'm saying? I'm not an industry artist. I'm an artist in the industry.
Jay-Z, on the other hand, was playing the industry game from day one, and he got real tight with Layer, even calling him his mentor in his book, Decoded. Here's a direct quote from the book. Layer Cohen, who I consider my mentor, once told me something that he was told by a rabbi about the 8 degrees of giving in Judaism. The highest level of giving, the 8, is giving in a way that makes the receiver self-sufficient. Now, knowing what we do about Jay-Z and Layer and the shady moves they allegedly made to stack their money, it's kind of wild hearing them talk about being all generous and selfless. But who exactly is Layer Cohen and what's his place in hip-hop? Well, the basics are on his Wikipedia. Born in NYC to Israeli immigrants, he's been a major power player in the music industry, especially in hip-hop, for over 30 years. He started managing rappers at Rush Productions, then moved up at Def Jam, eventually ran Warner Music Group, and after leaving in 2012, launched his own label, 300 Entertainment. More recently, he became YouTube's global head of music. But this is where things started to gets shady. There's this long-running theory that Lair might be some kind of intelligence agency plant using his insider ties to push a certain agenda in hip-hop. So why do people think this? Well, for one, Lair's been caught lying about his background more than once, especially when it comes to his parents and his origins. During his appearance on Vlad TV in October 2023, Lair was asked about his mom, and at first he said she was just a housewife. But later in the same interview, he let it slip that she actually worked for the Israeli government and even helped him land a job at the National Bank of Israel.
Incredible parents, 3 other brothers, and just a loving, happy family. My dad was the head of psychiatry for Kaiser Permanente, and my mother was just a housewife and raising children, and remarkable period of my life.
Now, I've always assumed that you were born in Israel because you have a slight accent when you speak. Have you heard this before?
Yeah, so my parents weren't immigrants because they weren't staying here.
Okay.
So my biological father was coming here just for his education. And my mother worked for the Israeli government.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was born, I went straight back to Israel.
Oh, so you stayed there for a while.
I spent my first 3 years in Petach Tikva.
On top of that, Lair's no stranger to controversy, and it's easy to see why Dame Dash has called him a culture vulture. To give you just one example, when Lair showed up on The Breakfast Club, he talked about the opioid crisis and even brought up DMX, claiming he was heartbroken over X's battle with addiction. But when Charlamagne asked why he keeps signing artists to glorify substance use, especially during an opioid epidemic, Lair basically said that's how the business works.
Had a real bad drug problem, DMX.
I'm so sad.
Lies.
DMX, there's 2 people inside of him. And the
Want to try tirzepatide?
So this is tirzepatide.
Wow.
It is the #1 weight loss medication.
Earl is one of the nicest people. I put him up in Lake George. Earl loved being silent with a fishing pole. I shit you not. He just would stay on that dock hours and hours and hours and hours. Yeah, very, very sad. I think the opiate problem, the syrup problem, is the biggest problem that I've ever seen and I've ever faced, and been a part of. And I can't fuck with it. The crack thing was devastating, but at least the rappers were bringing a spotlight to you becoming a fiend.
Oh my God.
Okay. And I thought that spotlight, head crack,
I can't
helped
be phony.
Even though it was harsh and really really rough, particularly on women. But I think it helped change the course of the crack epidemic. I don't know what's this opioid thing, man.
Well, being a crackhead wasn't cool back then. Being a crackhead wasn't cool. Now it seems like they're making it cool to be drinking lean and syrup, and
it's the most dangerous. It's the most dangerous thing that's facing our society.
So why sign an artist that would promote that?
Because I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention. She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent. But I have to. I can't give up on people.
I'm saying that's hypocritical, though. You're saying the
it's
opioid problem's a problem.
opportunistic. Yeah. I got people to feed. I got a business to run.
You're gonna make Dame Dash take this clip and call you a culture vulture.
Who's Dame Dash?
And get this, when Charlamagne mentioned Dame calling him a culture vulture, Lair got all belligerent and claimed he didn't know who Dame is.
Right.
Who's Dame Dash? You brought him up. I don't even know him. I don't even know him.
No, they were all
So you bring him his name up. I don't even know him. So
y'all made a lot of money together.
Made a lot of
Come
money.
on, nigga. Don't do that to him.
I don't know him. I really don't.
This is what I mean by faking.
So,
Okay, Mariah. But for Dame, this was just confirmation that he was right about Lair all along. Dame clapped back on Instagram, writing, "Thanks for this, liar Cohen, for proving my point in true culture vulture form. They make money off of us and then try to erase our true history and act like the real ones never existed. He pays his bills at the expense of us." But this next part is where it gets spooky. Dame claims that as soon as he started calling out Lair in public, the police suddenly got involved, which only added more fuel to those rumors about Lair having ties to intelligence.
Man, I was hearing too much police talk, and that's that. And I ain't feel like being bothered. So leave me the fuck alone and keep my name out your mouth. You no longer have beef with me. So leave me alone.
Now let's get into how Lair disrespected DMX at his own funeral. DMX's memorial took place in Brooklyn on April 25th, 2021, and Lair didn't even show up. Instead, he sent a video where he talked about how nobody was shocked that DMX allegedly OD'd, and he called X a gremlin who crashed into a wall. Think about this. Lair actually recorded this message to be played at DMX's funeral. It's like he was mocking his death. And this is the guy Jay-Z calls his mentor? No wonder DMX wanted nothing to do with these people. See, unlike Jay, X was one of the loudest voices when it came to exposing all the shady moves in the music business. X even said he was blackballed because he refused to play by the industry's rules and turned down invites to dinner with the executives. And then in his track, The Industry, X exposed how the music business really works and how young talent gets screwed over once they step into the game. Also, let's not forget, DMX said the devil came to him more than once, and he knew it was the devil every time because what was offered sounded good on the surface but came with some weird conditions.
You've had a song on every album, A Conversation with God. Yes. You've had
And a prayer.
And I think you've had
Three conversations with the devil.
Three conversations with the devil. Why with the devil?
Well, to make a fair decision, I think you have to be aware of both sides. And I was approached, so of course I had a conversation. It doesn't mean I rode with him or believed him. I just was able to recognize him by what he said to me and what he offered me. I said, oh, now I know you are. That's why I stopped talking to him. I put out 7 albums, but he's only on 3.
Now, circling back to Dame Dash, people often criticize him for being stuck in the past and always dragging up Jay-Z. And yeah, that's a fair point to some degree. But according to Dame and plenty of others in the industry, a way bigger problem is how most artists are too scared to speak out against Jay. It's like the moment you say something, you're labeled as washed up, bitter, or jealous. And that's exactly what happened to DMX when he tried to share his side. When he went on The Breakfast Club and talked about how Jay sabotaged his album, everyone threw shade at X, calling him bitter and saying Jay was just the better businessman. But now that X is gone, suddenly everybody's ready to admit he was telling the truth. And that's why a lot of fans are now defending Dame and saying that while he may be petty, at least he's not scared to say exactly how he feels about Jay-Z. One fan said, "That's been the running theme when it comes to Dame. Every time someone asks him a question about Jay and he responds, the comments always saying, why is he always talking about Jay?" The Twitter folks are very bad with this as well. They try to make Dame out to be the bad guy. And then someone else added, "I miss DMX, kept it 100 all the time. Everything he said about these lames in the industry is coming out like a flood that can't be stopped. He would be cooking these weirdos right now. Rest in power, X." But I want to hear what you think. Is Dame going too far, always calling out Jay? Or is it a good thing that someone in the industry is finally bold enough to speak the truth? Drop your thoughts.
So like I said, go and watch their videos, Culture Spilled and Culture. It's Culture Spilled and Culture Covered, I think that's what it is. So, I thought I dropped this one. Okay, maybe I moved on. Okay, let's see. Okay, hold on.
Them parties? Nah, that wasn't for me. No, sir.
What's that? That's Mob King?
Niggas feeling marvelous.
You gotta get the shoes though. Y'all know what it is.
Benny Siegel was the shit.
Yeah, he was fired.
And they will only let Benny Siegel only sell so many records. This came from an executive for Benny. They would you couldn't be bigger than Jay-Z on Jay-Z's label.
The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, alleges that rapper Jay-Z, along with Diddy, indecently assaulted her at a New York house party in the year 2000 following the MTV Video Music Awards.
Holmes attended the award show with his then girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez.
So there's been a lot of talk lately that Diddy is most likely facing life in prison. And now rumors are flying that he's trying to cut a deal with the feds by snitching and giving up names in exchange for a lighter sentence. And we're not talking about some small-time players here. Insiders are saying he's bringing up some heavyweights, including his longtime friend, Jay-Z, allegedly.
I went from irregular eating, fatigue, and the gym 6 times a week to healthy eating habits, productive days, and the gym 3 times a week, and here's how.
And now Beanie Siegel is adding his 2 cents, and he's saying Jay better run while there's still time. Apparently, Beanie is convinced that Diddy has some major dirt on Jay that goes back to the 90s. And it sounds like he's saying that things behind the scenes are way worse than we thought. So what exactly does Beanie know about Jay and Diddy's relationship? And is Diddy really about to fold and snitch on everybody? Let's get into it. So there's a lot of noise right now about Diddy possibly flipping, and it looks like the pressure is getting real. Insiders are saying Diddy is looking at serious time, potentially life. And in situations like that, even the most powerful start to crack. So from what we're hearing, Diddy isn't going down alone. He's allegedly ready to start naming names, and not just any names, but none other than Jay-Z. But this isn't coming out of nowhere. Remember last year when Diddy's son Christian dropped that diss track, Pick a Side, and basically warned his dad's celebrity friends that if they didn't come out and show support, there would be consequences? Well, not only did Jay-Z fail to show any support for Diddy, but he actually got his lawyer, Alex Spiro, to publicly say that Jay and Diddy were never even friends.
I mean, Mr. Carter has nothing to do with Mr. Combs' case or Mr. Combs. They knew each other professionally for a number of years, just like in all professions. People know each other. At the music awards, they support each other. You go to the NBA All-Star game, they support each other. That's just how professions work. There is no closer association between any of them. That's also a matter of fiction. That's all that there is. He doesn't know anything about the charges or allegations against him. He has nothing to do with that case. And there's nothing more to say.
So allegedly, Diddy lost it when he saw this. And now multiple sources close to the situation are saying Diddy has had enough and is preparing to do whatever it takes to save himself, even if that means exposing Jay-Z's darkest secrets. Now, here's where Beanie Siegel comes into the picture and why his warning to Jay-Z actually makes a lot of sense. Beanie was one of Jay's most loyal soldiers, and during the Rockefeller era, he put in serious work, both in the booth and in the streets. He stayed loyal even when it cost him his freedom. But when the legal pressures came down on Beanie, Jay-Z didn't back him. So fast forward to now with Diddy facing possible life in prison, and Jay-Z is once again nowhere to be seen. Now remember that Jay and Diddy were close friends and associates since the 90s, which means Diddy would have had a front row seat to a lot of what went down behind closed doors at Rockefeller and later Roc Nation. And that includes business deals, street connections, and who got protected when the feds started circling. So if Diddy is really snitching, he could be exposing how Jay-Z stayed clean while letting people like Beanie take the fall. That would not only blow up Jay's image, but it would confirm everything Beanie's been saying for years. But let me give you some context on Beanie's story. Back in the early 2000s, Beanie wasn't just another rapper on Rockefeller. He was a major player. He helped put the label on the map. He had his own clothing line, state property, and even starred in movies under that brand. So he wasn't just part of the team, he was building an empire with them. But then things started shifting fast. Around 2004, Rockefeller was falling apart, and Jay-Z and Dame Dash were beefing behind the scenes over who was really in charge. Beanie was caught right in the middle, and while he was loyal to both of them, when Jay ended up taking over the label through his new deal with Def Jam, Beanie started getting pushed to the side. Suddenly, he wasn't part of the inner circle anymore. And that's where the whole betrayal angle starts to make sense. Because at the same time all this drama was going down, Beanie got hit with serious federal charges. But Jay didn't step in to help. No support, no legal backup, nothing. And Beanie felt like he was left out to dry. And for someone who helped build the brand from the ground up, that cut deep.
Right now I'm facing weapons violations, attempted murder. They try and get a boy 20 to 40 years. They came to me with a deal. Their deal was 18 to 36 years. Of course, I turned it down. Thought this was America, people. Guilty until proven innocent, huh?
When Beanie went to jail, he figured his Rockefeller crew, especially Jay-Z, would have his back. But instead, all he got was total silence. And Beanie has said in interviews that he felt completely left out and betrayed by Jay.
You got me. So at that time, when I'm going to court, and we about to be on tour. We on tour. So whole nother tour. Yeah, we on a whole nother tour. So, I'm going for my bail hearing and the feds. And the judge asked Jay, everybody's saying all these good things and all that. The character witnesses, Dame, and, everybody's saying, even Jay said a whole lot of good things about me. And the judge was going to let me go, monitor. And she said, would you be willing, and that's the part that people don't like, would you be willing to be responsible for his whereabouts, not be responsible for my actions, just his whereabouts? Would you be willing to do that? Provide us with all the information, saying that he's going to be here, there. And after all that good, he said no. But it was like the way he said it, and he put his head down, he was like, no, I've never been crushed like that ever in my life. Cause I'm like, damn, this is my man. Like I found out. And I looked at it like, all right, no. What if I had to get the out of there? I'm in jail. I'm still tall. But what if I really needed to go? This was going to my mind. Like get out of jail, you say? Bro, I had attempted in the state and the federal government and all this shit. The 40 years is over. This is what I'm facing, 40 years. Right. What if in my mind, I'm thinking like, damn, what if I really needed to roll? Be on a run and go. Like I'm from this is my man and I love him. If he skipped that, I'm getting my man, I'm getting him out by any means necessary. So for me to look him in his eyes and I'm shackled around the wrist, ankles and everything, and the man was like, oh. Like that fucked me up. It took everything in me not to let one go. Like that took away a lot of shit that I thought that we had. Right. Like that's big bro.
On the other hand, Dame Dash was there for Beanie every step of the way, showing up at trial and making sure everyone knew he wasn't alone.
Drove up here at 5 a.m, caught a flat.
We caught a flat in Dame's van on the turnpike.
We gotta wait for the spare to come.
We're running a little late. And I gotta get suited up, booted up.
No,
and he is our brother, so we will be there to support him. Because it's a rock, we are a family.
And while Beanie was wrapped up in legal battles, Jay was busy dropping the Black album and announcing he was retiring, only to flip on that a few months later. And by 2005, Rockefeller wasn't the force it once was. Jay took the top spot at Def Jam, while Dame and Biggs moved on to other projects. But Beanie was stuck. That year, he dropped his third album, The Becoming, a strong project he mostly recorded while dealing with his court case. But no matter how good it was, it didn't get the support it needed, and Jay wasn't even making Beanie a priority. Beanie has since dropped hints in interviews that he was being sidelined, and he even said that Jay blocked him from chasing other opportunities, keeping him tied to Rockefeller, but never really backing him or pushing his career forward. Then in 2009, things really blew up when Beanie dropped What You Talking About, a diss track that was clearly aimed at Jay-Z. And Beanie didn't hold anything back either. He called Jay out for being fake and selfish, saying Jay used him for street cred and then threw him away when he wasn't useful anymore.
Question is, did Jay really call up them people? Just need to know to add them to the infested extermination list.
Listen, before I even got there to the building, you gotta understand this. It's all documented. This year's Powerhouse, if you
chill any room in 90 seconds with this NASA-inspired breakthrough. It's smaller than a toaster, cools any room in 90 seconds, and uses just a fraction of the energy of a regular AC.
Jay came last year. In the Philadelphia Daily News, the day after the Powerhouse, it had an article. And I didn't even go to the Powerhouse last year. It had an article in it. Inside sources say Jay-Z beefs up security and threat that a retaliation from Beanie Siegel for dropping him from the label.
This was in the newspaper.
It's in the paper. It's public record. Go, it's $20. You can search it and find it. It's public record. That was last year. So when I'm reading this, like, damn, what the you know what I mean? Inside sources say.
Right.
Where that come from? I ain't never see the Powerhouse where they got boot cops walking around with K9s and all that shit. Go on the internet, Google it. Bernard Hopkins was there. I didn't even know Bernard was there.
Right.
Go to allhiphop.com. He confirms it.
So there you are, just like the song says.
Yeah, because what happened was, I stood right in the, and because they made suites. When I came in the building and people was going in the back and all that where the dressing rooms was at, we was standing in the back, me and my peoples or whatever. Bleak come out with 5 bodyguards. What's up, C? No, what's going on? Damn, what's up? What you doing? Who back there, Jay? Come on, let's go back there. And you keep on moving the conversation. You don't want to go back there. Your bodyguard's there. And I don't got no, you know what I mean, to pass. He was like, man, you need to come holler at the big hunk. Man, dude, don't f with me. I ain't going back there. That's what I told him. Big homie, don't f with me.
As for Jay's response, he acted like it was no big deal. And he blamed Beanie, saying the whole thing was just Beanie refusing to own up to his own problems.
Well, Beanie Siegel is complaining a lot these days.
Well, he has a lot to complain about. I know. Not me.
Well, actually, this morning I just got a brand new interview. It's half an hour long, and he's talking basically about you, about the company, about basically how you didn't push him as much as, let's say, 50 Cent pushed some of his boys. How do you feel about that?
Well, Beanie Siegel at the time, and you can look it up if you like, just to be honest, was driving 2 Bentleys. I don't know how. It's impossible to drive 2 cars at one time. With his mama in the sticks and selling 800,000 records, I don't know what more can you do for somebody, at that point. What people choose to do when they attain that type of success, at some point you have to look in the mirror and look at yourself. Beanie Siegel had a record deal, a record label, and a clothing line. I mean, it never went platinum, ever. I don't know, in the history of rap, has anyone done so much with so little? So I don't even know what more can you do for a person at that point. A record label, a record deal, that's normal. A record label and a clothing line. So if that's not pushing the person, I mean...
But fast forward to now, and it seems like Beanie is ready to admit he made mistakes. But his biggest one was trusting Jay-Z instead of Dame. So Dame recently called out Jay during an interview on The Art of Dialogue, accusing him of tricking Beanie and basically saying Jay deliberately sidelined him and wrecked his career. Dame said he saw Beanie as the future of Rockefeller, someone who could carry the whole legacy forward. But Beanie stayed loyal to Jay, thinking Jay had his back. What he didn't realize was that Jay wasn't just going to leave him hanging. He was allegedly working behind the scenes to keep Beanie blocked from coming back.
Beans was getting ready. We thought he was going to go to jail for a couple of years. He was on trial. So I was trying to make 4 albums for him, or 5. I was more bothered when Beans chose to go with Jay. That one hurt because I'd done a lot and prepared. I chose State Property over Rockware, and I wanted to just roll out with State Property. But it almost like he tricked Beans to shelf him, and he fucked his life up to me doing that. But I had him, you know what I mean? Like, that was my new Jay.
And then Beanie decided to speak out and pretty much agreed with Dame, admitting he took Dame for granted.
Dame actually came and got me when I got out of prison. And we was on a tour bus and they was interviewing me. And they asked me then and there on a bus. Now I'm just getting out of prison. Like, he at the jail picked me up. And they posed that question that I was, you know, or made the statement that I was going to be with Dame Dash Music Group. And I said then that I didn't want to make that choice between Jay or Dame. I just wanted to stay neutral. I believe if we had those conversations, I believe I would have rolled with Dame. I'd have rocked with Dame. Yeah, if Dame set me down and he had a plan, regardless what the plan was, and mapped it out like this was going to do, the smartest decision at that time for me would have rolled with Dame, because Dame was more accessible than Jay was. Dame was in the office every day. You could talk to Dame. You know what I mean? Dame used to come and chill on the block in South Philly. You know what I mean? Dame pull up and Biggs at Mom Duke's spot. So, yeah, I think if we would have sat and he would have showed me and explained to me, you know, our business plan and what we was going to do, that would have been an easy decision.
Now, when it comes to Jay-Z, Beanie said it definitely felt like there were secret moves being made to keep him from reaching the next level. Things like Jay always dropping his albums right around the same time as Beanie's and only letting Beanie sell so many records. And while Beanie owned up to some of his own mistakes, including his legal issues, he made it clear that Jay's actions weren't just a coincidence.
I don't think one man could destroy another man's life. It's ultimately in your own decisions. You know, I had a lot of issues. Like I said, legal issues at the time. And, you know, my mind wasn't where I'm at now today. Like, I used to have questions like why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop right on top. He wouldn't let me breathe or right before me. Like, I was always close. And I never understood that every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right on top of me. And it was like, damn, like, to have in-house competition at that magnitude was crazy. Jay already the boss, but I always thought that, like, let me breathe.
So now with all the rumors flying that Diddy is ready to snitch, fans are starting to connect the dots. Jay-Z's got a long track record of leaving friends hanging when things get real. And maybe, just maybe, karma's finally catching up to him. If Diddy really...
Yep. Okay, let's get back to where we started. Jay-Z's alleged son.
Okay. Different fathers?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So how old was she when you were born? Are you the oldest, youngest?
Yeah, I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest. So you were the firstborn.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And so how old was she when you were born?
15 going on 16.
15.
It just, as I was growing up, my mom always told me, my mom always gave me a hint that my father wasn't my father, and she told me exactly who my father was. I would just be doing so much and running, and it just really dawned on me. It's the man that my mom was underage when she consumed me. And anyone who'd have been older
Jay's been dodging a paternity test for his alleged son, Rymir, for years. And now it looks like we finally know the real reason he's so scared to take the test. Rymir has been fighting this battle in court for a whole decade. But instead of just taking a DNA test and ending the drama, Jay's been throwing cash and lawyers at the problem to keep it buried. Well, Rymir's case just got a major green light from a judge, which means Jay can't avoid it anymore. But that's not even the story. There's also some new reports circulating about Rymir's late mom and her age when she allegedly got pregnant by Jay-Z. And let's just say, if these reports are true, it explains why Jay is refusing to take the test. As you all probably know, Jay's faced allegations for years about messing with women who weren't legal adults. And this thing with Rymir's mom just adds more fuel to those rumors. So what's really going on behind the scenes? Why won't Jay-Z just take the test and get it over with if he's so sure Rymir is lying?
I never asked for money. I don't do interviews just saying, hey, Jay-Z, give me your money, or I'm coming at the Jay-Z for his money. I never did that. I'm not that type of person. I'm not trying to make nobody seem like a bad person or nothing. I'm just really coming out here for the truth. I don't want no money or anything. I wasn't looking for none of that. I just want to know the truth. And if I can't go to the courts and get the truth, like, what is it really? Why are you? What is it? I just really want it over. It's something that's really affecting my life, and I just want it over with.
The whole story is insane. So let me break it down for you. Rymir Satterthwaite has been saying for years that Jay-Z is his father. But Jay kept dodging a paternity test and allegedly using his wealth and power to block Rymir's case in court. Now people are seriously side-eyeing Jay because instead of just taking the test and shutting it all down, he's been spending big bucks on lawyers to fight it. And it's bizarre that this has dragged on so long when a simple DNA test could settle it. It's like the more Jay fights, the more it looks like he's hiding something. But things just got flipped, and Rymir scored a big legal win. Multiple outlets reported last week that a judge gave the green light for Rymir's case to move forward, which means Jay-Z is finally required to respond to the paternity suit. Now, a lot of people have been asking why Jay-Z won't just take the test and be done with it. Some sources claimed it's about money, but this makes no sense since Rymir is 32 and he can't get retroactive child support. And then others speculate that Jay-Z is simply desperate to protect his rebranded image as a loyal family man after cheating on Beyonce. But the real reason, y'all, might be way darker. Allegedly, Jay-Z is dodging the test because Rymir's mom was only 15 or 16 when she got pregnant. To give you some background, Rymir's case was first reported in the media back in 2015 when Rymir filed a paternity suit with the help of his legal guardian and godmother, Lily Coley. And in his filing, Rymir claims Jay had an affair with his late mother, Wanda, back in the 90s. But according to Lily, who's a paralegal, Jay-Z and his attorney presented fraudulent and false info in court, leading to the case being thrown out. But Rymir refused to give up his fight. Back in 2018, The Sun reported that Rymir filed new court papers accusing Jay of using his money and fame to avoid taking a paternity test for more than 8 years. And this is where things start to get shady. Rymir kept getting shut down in court because the judge was supposedly told that his biological father had already been identified. But then the son got a copy of Rymir's birth certificate, and surprise, there's no father listed at all. And then the court docs dropped another bombshell. Turns out some people on Rymir's own legal team were secretly working with Jay-Z's lawyers behind the scenes. In an exclusive interview with The Sun, Rymir said he's been denied the right to have a fair hearing in court because of legal mistakes and malpractice. Jay-Z is supposed to be a positive role model for our community. He stands there screaming Black Lives Matter. Well, tell the truth and take responsibility, Rymir said. And if you say I'm not your son and nothing ever happened with my mom, then just take the test. Rymir also told his son that his mom, Wanda, first told him Jay was his father when he was about 8 years old. According to Wanda, she and Jay-Z hooked up back in 1992 at his aunt's apartment in the Brooklyn projects. She said they used protection, but it failed. And after that night, she never saw Jay again or had any way to reach him. By 2010, Wanda's health had declined and custody of Rymir was given to Lily Coley. Lily also spoke to The Sun and said she's convinced Jay-Z is Rymir's biological dad. And according to Lily, Wanda got pregnant shortly after meeting Jay when she was only 15 or 16 years old. But it gets even crazier. According to Rymir's lawsuit filed in 2018, Jay-Z's lawyer made Wanda sign legal papers while she was in the hospital recovering from a medicated coma, which replaced Lily's name on the petition without consent and for nefarious reasons. And because of this, the court once again threw out the case. And that's when things took a really dark turn. After the case was thrown out, Rymir and his godmother, Lily, went on Hip Hop News Uncensored and revealed that Rymir was shot after filing charges against Jay-Z.
Shot at somewhere in September. He was in a parking lot with other people near where he's at living now. And out of all the cars there, his was the only one shot up. So we believe that that was a nexus or a connection, I believe, between the case and what's going on, because it was around the time.
Lily also revealed that around the time Ramir filed the lawsuit, random people started showing up at her home trying to scare and intimidate her.
In addition to that, we've had people come to my home in the past, driving on the grass. We have people knocking on the door at 4 o'clock in the morning. We've been through all of it, mostly around the filing time. So this is a bigger picture than.
She also went on to say that this fight isn't just about Jay-Z, but also about exposing how the rich and powerful manipulate the legal system.
We want to try to make a difference with the Pro Se Act or the Legal Abuse Act, bringing new legislation and trying to sit down at the table with the lawmakers to make a difference. In addition to the fact, because, you know, like you said before, Mr. Carter might not never do anything, and I'm sure he probably won't, but it ain't about him. This is about the system allowing things to happen that were very agreed and put our lives at stake in some regards. So I just wanted to say that that's what another reason why we were still going to the criminal stuff for the second time. This time the prosecutor's office locally did get involved, but everything is slow moving and things are happening, and you know, it's corruption going on. It says in New Jersey that if the person who resists to take the test is presumed the father. That's what the law says. Here in New Jersey, anybody who don't want to do it and go away from doing it or prevents from doing it is presumed the father. So right now he's presumed the father. He's not even alleged.
But just when Jay thought he'd buried this whole situation for good, Ramir finally got his case to move forward. And after Jay-Z's name came up in that Jane Doe lawsuit against Diddy, Ramir called him out for the hypocrisy of claiming to protect kids while dodging responsibility for his. If you remember, Jane Doe accused Jay and Diddy of raping her when she was 13. And in that first statement he released, Jay said he lives by very strict codes and honor and is all about protecting children. But then Ramir responded with his own statement saying, if Mr. Carter values the ideals of honor and protecting children, as he claims in his letter, he should step forward with transparency. He continues to deflect and avoid. Ramir has now filed a new lawsuit against the New Jersey court system and multiple judges, accusing them of conspiring with Jay-Z for over a decade to get his paternity cases thrown out. In the court docs, Ramir's lawyer claims Jay lied under oath by saying he didn't own any property in New Jersey, leading the court to believe it had no jurisdiction over him. But Ramir's team says they've got property deeds and tax records with Jay's name on them to prove that wasn't true. According to the filing, Jay-Z used his wealth and influence to manipulate the legal system, which caused Ramir's earlier cases to be blocked or dismissed. The lawsuit also says Ramir's car was shot at by unknown individuals after he started speaking out about the injustices he faced when reporting his case to the New Jersey authorities. On top of that, both Ramir and his godmother Lily claim in the filing that they were followed by unidentified people around their neighborhood and had cars pulling onto their lawn at 4 a.m. And they believe all of this was orchestrated by people connected to Jay-Z. But let me know what y'all think. Do you think Ramir is telling the truth? And what do you think is the real reason Jay-Z refuses to take the test? Drop all your comments below.
Let's be clear. Okay, this is what my prediction is. My prediction is that Jay-Z still ain't this young man's father, but they look alike. I have to give him that. If we was going on looks only, I'd be like, well, Jay, you know. But I done seen too many episodes of Maury where the mama is so damn convinced, the audience convinced, we at home convinced, and then Maury Povich, whatever his name is, he'd be like, when it comes to young baby Jeremiah Fox, Jerome, a paternity test determined that you are not the father. And then here come the mama screaming, running in the backstage. I can't take it. So that's my prediction. I think that's likely what's gonna happen. But that's just my opinion. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so let's listen to what Sloan Bella has to say. But I'm telling you right now, Beyonce, this is what Beyonce Beyonce somewhere right right now. This is what she doing. This is what Beyonce. She's somewhere right now. Right now. This is what she's saying.
Please go away from me with this. Go away from me. Stop it. Wheel. Stop playing with me, Phaedra. Please go away from me with this. Go away from me. Stop it. Stop playing with me, Phaedra.
Somewhere. Beyonce somewhere. Beyonce on her tour right now. She on her tour right now in her American flag leotard or whatever it is she got going on right now. Talking about.
Please go away from me with this. Go away from me.
She's somewhere pissed. Like, why the fuck do Jay-Z? Why do you keep messing shit up for me? That's just my opinion. But I don't think she is. According to the little boy's mama, she ain't never met him. Her or Solange. Dropping it low and spreading it wide, it ain't his fault. He ain't do shit. He ain't do nothing. You ain't anything like that. But if it's $1 billion on the elevator and my little brother out here, oh yeah, I got you. The house gonna be in his name, the car gonna be in his name, like all of that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just like, okay, well, we won't let you be great because you certainly are gonna make sure the internet stop working. Because right now, for some reason, the internet wants to be doing the most. It don't want me to be great. Let's go. Gotta roll with the punches. I'm like, what the hell were we doing before internet was internet? How did we communicate? Like, it's crazy. It must be like some sort of dead spot. For whatever reason, I built my little studio, and suddenly the internet doesn't have. So signal. That's what I was looking for. So even in here, Alexa, turn on bedroom lights. Even in here, it doesn't look like it's a good signal. I don't know what's going on, but the show must go on, right? So hopefully it'll start playing. So let's see.
These two are together like this, like they fit. Jagged edges, piece of puzzle, they fit. They actually fit together. That's why when I saw mine, the Pisces rising, I'm like, it's not Pisces rising. That could flip it to the 7th house, but he's more like a 1st house Pluto in Virgo if I saw one. He's blunt, straightforward, speaks like, you know, directly speaks the way that he speaks. Now, what do I see happening with him energetically? I see the next year. So we are in 2024. This is whatever month this is. This is March, the beginning of 2024. So we are headed for the next 3 years, 25, 26, and 27, with the beginning initial stages of the knockdown when it comes to Jay-Z. He is not next in line. He is second to next in line. I get a real kind of focus between him, Chris Brown, and MC Hammer. Okay, so they're kind of all coming around and they're all linked. We know P. Diddy's going down. So, and that was said by his ex-wife, and that video I did last June. But Jay-Z is a different story because he's still attached to a hierarchy which encompasses financial, political, and just basically public. So he's not absolutely going to be taken down yet. The next 3 years, yes, there are steps where if he doesn't fall into line, he is going to be shaken up. Now, what I do see 3 years from now, him, his wife, and his kid. I don't know if there's more than one kid. There might be more than one kid. I can't remember with everybody who has kids. But anyway, him, his kid, and his wife, I see them with spaces, and I literally see them leaving. So their residence will no longer be in the United States. This is what I'm seeing. And this happens by 2027, if not sooner, 2025 through 2027. There is a leaving of the energy here, and there is a flipping of his personality. So what I'm seeing is a complete shift in his personality. So what does that mean? It means that on a representative way, so how I present myself outwardly, this changes. So now I change my tune, put on another mask, and I present myself outwardly in a different fashion. He thinks he can escape by doing that. If I present myself this way, the public will see me this way and nothing will happen to me. Now, he's definitely 100% energetically connected to the different hierarchies on the other side. So this man understands metaphysical principles, occult principles, how to use those principles, and how to move through different layers of energy himself. No questions asked. The reason that he is in the music industry is because of finely tuned ability to walk a line between what you and I see and where they go, which is different, which is why they have a different lifestyle than us. It's not because they're better or more creative. Understand what you're looking at when you see somebody like Jay-Z is somebody who took an opportunity, Saturn in Taurus, okay, retrograde, somebody who took an opportunity to step out of a comfort zone and into one that they thought, and this is a greed level. I want fame, I want success, I want money. It's not just I'm a businessman. And he is using his queen bee, Beyonce, to help him maneuver in that fashion. But it's interesting because what I see is the wax is melting on the candle. So that tells me something as I'm saying it, that these two engage in ritual expression involved with fire, candle magic, which is really kind of novice. Like there's higher levels. Candle magic is a novice beginner way to manipulate energy, but I'm seeing them melt like wax candles. So the facade that they both have and that their family has is actually crumbling right now. You will see it within 3 years. There are legal troubles for Jay-Z that come up in November, and they come attached to another person, but not a person that you actually think, which would be P. Diddy spilling the beans as he gets dragged into court. No, it's not P. Diddy. It is somebody else. And I'm kind of swinging around to Justin Bieber. Like I'm looking at the people up there, and I'm kind of torn between Chris Brown and Justin Bieber. But I'm going the Justin Bieber way here because Bieber is involved in this sideways. Okay, so there's a sideways connection to Bieber, which I'm sure they're all in the industry, different forms of expression, but they're all in the industry. So this makes sense to me. And then when I look at Jay-Z and Beyonce, I see the fading on the candle. The wax is melting. They are what we would consider to be high-level government experiments. I'm going to put it that way. It doesn't start off that way. It doesn't start off that way, but that's what they are. That's the cat jumping in for her opinion. She feels like she needs to talk. Anyway, their expression is this is a government operation, and it's no longer working. So their Jay-Z will be brought back and remolded in a different form. So they really have no ability to control the outcome of what is going to be happening. Okay, this is ridiculous. Cat, hold on. Get down. Come on, get down. Sorry, y'all. Anyway, she's gone. She's gone. She's not going to distract me over there, stalking me for lunch. Anyhow, the government, okay, and it is a government or a authoritative takedown of they're switching midline of what they feel people want to hear or what people want to have happen. So they are taking their public people and they are saying, okay, we take these people and we're going to reinvent them so they're more palatable in a different way. Only thing is it's not going to be more palatable. So I am seeing the face of Jay-Z and Beyonce kind of shifting in the next 3 years. So by 2027, they no longer wield the public power that you think they do. And they will have to approach you in. Now, on an energetic level, what I'm being told about Jay-Z is that he has investments in all kinds of mind technology, aka Elon Musk. But I'm not sure it's through Elon Musk. It's in other countries, other kinds of capital venture towards the controlling of the human mindset. He has allowed portions of what he chooses to do in his life into a consciousness center where people can tap into being him. So it's almost a robotic where you yourself can put the goggles on and learn how to live Jay-Z's life. He's agreed to do this. So he's kind of a captive, but in a public form and has no cognitive or conscious awareness of this. That's a weird thing to say, but that's just the way, that's the energy I'm picking up on. No conscious awareness of what's going on around him. Also, keep in mind, they are very much, and here's what I'm getting. I am getting both Jay-Z and Beyonce because, see, he procures her out there. He is her handler, and he is the one that pushes her out there public, and then he profits off her. So we're looking at, and I don't care how much talent you think they have, I don't care how much talent you think they have. She was chosen. It is a karmic thing looking at their chart, but she was chosen for him in order to help him get where he needed to go. So she's the muse, but let's use this in a different way. Sometimes we use the word muse in the terms of profiteering off of it. He's very aware of entertainers, male and female, where he needs to go to keep his money coming in and what he's actually selling. Now, this connects him to R. Kelly, high level pimping and pandering for the industry through the trafficking. My camera cut off when I said trafficking, through the trafficking of human beings. Okay, so I'm going to put that out there in that fashion. We, you, me, them, we're going to start seeing through the veil when it comes to Jay-Z, and within 3 years, public figure is removed. Now, he's not the first one to go down behind P. Diddy, but he's a close second. So it's a combination that's coming after him. And when they take him down, they're going to take Beyonce down behind him. And it's going to start crumbling. Okay, so it's the next 3 years. On an energy level, what this is it is, understand, when you do occultist high level, and Jay-Z is a high level occultist, as is Beyonce. When you're involved in high level entity conjuring, which they are, when you're involved in that kind of high level type of giving yourself over to those energies, you are not really in control of what happens after a certain point. Like, no matter what anybody says, no matter how big and strong and special they think they are, when you let something into your body and you think you can control it, that's because they've let you think that you can control it, not that you can control it, okay? So when you're looking at that, I want you to understand that there is a point in time where people become known and are pushed in the direction where they can no longer get into the physical vessel or the husk. They're kind of like husky. Now, this brings me to another weird energy. When I'm looking, okay, when I'm looking at the children of a lot of celebrity people, I realize.
My friend told me about this nail diagnostic. Gives you specific products based on your nail type. Your nails are unique and their needs are too, whether they are ridged.
That these are, I'll use the word synthetics, but they act synthetic. I'm not saying they're not human. I'm just saying synthetically inclined. I can't read the energy. And if I can't read the energy as a barometer, if I can't look at you in the eyes and read your energy and see what you're doing, then there is something that is blocking me from doing so. And now it can be a block by them, but it can also be because they come from a different origin source. Okay. So what they've done in our society is they've gotten us so used to in vitro and having babies in test tubes. Do we really know if someone chooses to do that in a higher echelon, the elite, as they call them, in a higher echelon, do we really know exactly what is going to happen with those creations? Because we don't. And Jay-Z and Beyonce are kind of at that level where we're not really sure where that energy came from. Whatever, it's blocked. Now, they can put a protection spell around their kid. And if I were them, I would, because the public is also crazy. Okay. So the public can be crazy and they can be crazy. When I look at this, though, I see and am inclined to think that there's a lot more going on. There's a lot of substituting of energy with these two. And there's a lot of moving in the direction. And if you've ever been backstage at a concert and you watch people perform, when they come back into their physical vessel, their body, from being out of their body while they're performing, it's quite a sight. And I have seen it personally. I'm not with Beyonce and Jay-Z, but I've seen it personally. It's quite a sight to see someone come back into the physical after being out of the physical. The reason that they're out of the physical is so that they can harness powerful energy to entice people who are watching, which is what these guys are doing. Now, having said that, I get Jay-Z connected to Clive Davis, connected to P. Diddy. And so there's a succession of things happening. Clive is old right now, so he's probably next in line, but I'm kind of shooting off with Chris Brown, and then I'm shooting off with Justin Bieber, and then I'm kind of going to MC Hammer. Like, it's happening. These people are being used on different levels to take other people's money, clean it, move things all about the country under the guise of their creative talents. Now, Jay-Z, this is going to come to a screeching halt. Screeching halt. Russell Simmons pops up in the conversation, okay? In the conversation. So I've not heard head nor tail of Russell Simmons. He pops right in right now for months. I mean, he went off somewhere and who the hell knows where he went. Those words, that hiding will come to play in the future months. We're going to see conversation from Russell Simmons. It's either behind the scenes, something that is going to bring about a change in how the public looks at Jay-Z. There's like all kinds of things going on. He has a target directed at him because people want him found out. Beyonce does as well. This is what they're doing. Changing the candle wax, upping the game, upping the ante. The energy is very, very odd, but this is what I feel. So it's 3 years, and then in the year 2036, it no longer exists. He is a expression of his former self, and that former self is contained in such a way that we don't recognize it, and it doesn't have the power that it wields right now. So we are in a long line of circumstances happening right now with a takedown, and it's just waiting for them to be taken down, and they've been promised otherwise. They have been promised otherwise. They, Jay-Z, Beyonce, all of the other ones I mentioned, but this is about Jay-Z, they are in the process. Now, what I am seeing is Jay-Z's beginning, okay? So the succession of being unraveled in the next 3 years starts with a burglary of something. So Jay-Z is in the process of having some connection to missing burglarized items, and it's going to come up around him. That's the first marker. And I'm not sure what it is he steals. I don't know if this is a stolen song, a stolen item, a stolen car. I don't know what it is, but it is a burglary of something. I have stolen, and now I'm being accused of taking this. And that is the beginning of it, because they will start nosing around with him. So there's like a lot of nosing around. It's in the theft of something. And by theft, I don't quite know what I mean by that, but it's by the theft of something. And when you look at that, it just draws attention to him, and they don't like attention drawn to them. I also feel, forgive me for saying this, I sound really weird, but I also feel that when they sleep at night, they sleep in coffins. So what do I mean by that? They sleep not like you and I, they sleep in a different way, and they don't sleep till we get up. So there's a whole other shift in energy. If you were to get, they're like underground. Maybe that's what I want to say. It's an underground energy that is not observed by most people on this planet. So the behavior is beneath the surface, and that is part of what is going to be their unraveling. It's very weird energy, and I'm like all over the place again, but that is going to be the unraveling, is that they are connected energetically to a different source. And I see them connected through the solar plexus. So they hang, okay, so hang, like from the stomach, hang, like when you rise up out of the body, meaning they're not presently grounded in their physical body. I'm talking Jay-Z. Not grounded, but of course his wife, because the two are synonymous, but through the solar plexus, and so puppeteered out like that. So the behavior of them is completely controlled, and it's going to start unraveling. We give them way too much power. They're controlled by other entities around them. There is something with Justin Bieber coming up that's going to drag Jay-Z down the rabbit hole with him. So we have this connection like this, and it's going to go down under the guise.
If your air conditioning system looks like it belongs in a junkyard, Just $39 a month with $0 down gets you a brand new super efficient air.
Of their creative talents. Now, Jay-Z, this is going to come to a screeching halt. Screeching halt.
When she
Russell
says this
Simmons,
every time,
Jay-Z,
I'm like,
this is
yo,
going to come to a screeching halt. Screeching
screeching
halt. Russ under the guise of their
halt.
creative talents. Now, Jay-Z, this is going to come to a screeching halt. Screeching halt. Russell Simmons pops up in the conversation, okay, in the conversation. So I have not heard head nor tail of Russell Simmons. He pops right in right now for months. I mean, he went off somewhere and who the hell knows where he went. Those words
I
connected to P. Diddy.
I truly believe that whenever Jay-Z wrote his little memo and he posted it and then took it down or whatever, or he was talking about, fake psychics. I think he was talking about Sloan Bella. But the thing is with Sloan Bella, she ain't fake. She didn't predicted the whole Diddy thing according to her reading with Kim Porter. And it's just been a whole bunch of things where she ain't missed. So I can't say this lady knows everything, but she definitely was connected to Kim Porter seemingly. And Biggie and Tupac and Aaliyah and a whole bunch of other ones where I'm just like, now I ain't saying she God or nothing like that, but I'm just simply saying I do believe there are people on this earth that have more awareness than others because we're all souls, And it's interesting to me who has it, who doesn't. I don't want it. Like, y'all, listen, I just want to go to heaven whenever I leave this good earth and be with the creator of life and mind my business. Okay. But I definitely think there are people that use their abilities for good, and there are people who use their abilities for things that are not good. She cusses like a sailor, this Sloan Bella, when she's like on a live and something like that. She does, but when she does these type of, energetic readings or whatever, she doesn't really do that. But it's interesting. She is crazy. But there are certain things that I certainly give her her flowers for. She's definitely in tune with certain situations. I don't think psychics are the people that we want them to be and be like, oh my God, if you're a psychic, why can't you predict the lottery winnings or whatever? I don't think it's like that. It's no different than like it to me. I think it's closer to like someone comes to work at your job. You meet them for the first time or whatever the case may be. You might pick up on some of their energy. It's not to say you know everything about them. Maybe they have, y'all have a few conversations and you can kind of tell what type of life they maybe had or something like that. I think it's adjacent to that. I don't think it is that, but I do think it's adjacent to something like that where you're just kind of like, this person's a liar, or this person's a sweetheart, or this person probably grew up very, well, or this person probably had a really crappy life and, things like that, but not necessarily be able to pull their energy of everything that they've done in their life or things that they, will do later. It's kind of like, to me, it's very similar to like, if you at church and you know how they had those revivals and then they'll tell you, come on down here, just some random person. And you be looking like, because I always be in the audience like, please don't pick me, please don't pick me. And then they pick me up and like, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's kind of like that where they're getting the information, whatever the information is, in that moment about them. They're feeling that person's energy, maybe if it's good, maybe if it's bad, if they feel like, they're about to have a breakthrough, whatever it is. I do think that there are people in the world like that can kind of tell, but I don't think they're walking around like inside of people's brains and, know everything about somebody. I don't think that. So, but anyways, yeah. She says it's coming to a screeching halt. Screeching halt. I'm like, go ahead on then, Sloan.
And so there's a succession of things happening. Clive is old right now, so he's probably next in line, but I'm kind of shooting off with Chris Brown, and then I'm shooting off with Justin Bieber, and then I'm kind of going to MC Hammer. Like, it's happening. These people are being used on different levels to take other people's money, clean it, move things all about the country under the guise of their creative talents. Now, Jay-Z, this is going to come to a screeching halt. Screeching halt. Russell Simmons pops up
So you
in
know when
the
she says
conversation levels to
these people, they're being used to, wash other people's money and clean it and all that. I'm always, because I'm not a person that deals in any type of criminal activity, so I don't know. So like I said, I don't know none of these people. It's all alleged, just in my opinion. And I don't know Sloan Bella, and I don't know none of these people. I don't know if none of this is right or real. But when she said that, because I've watched this like maybe 5 times, and it's like, not the whole thing I'll watch, but I'll watch it to kind of see, like, did I hear what I heard, or did I misunderstand, or whatever. And I don't know her, so I wouldn't be able to verify anything what she means or clarify it. But I think when she says, because she says it about other people in a different way, where she says that they're taking other people's money and cleaning it, things like that. The only thing I can think of is, it's kind of like, all right, so we all go shopping in the clothing store, right? And I ain't never seen Rockaware or Darion or Sean John or any of these clothing lines that are still for sale in Saks or in any mainstream store. But I have seen it in like places like maybe JCPenney's or something like that, or Macy's or something, right? So when she says they're taking people's money and cleaning it, I feel like that's how they're cleaning it. Because I haven't, maybe I'm just that one person, because it is in a dodo. But I don't really see people walking around in Rockaware or Darion or what's the other one? Sean John and all this. I don't see that. So, but if you go to those places, like I said, like a Macy's or Dillard's or somewhere like that, you will see these clothes hanging there. So how are they making all this money off selling these clothes and shoes and all this stuff? But I've never seen nobody wearing it. Have y'all? Is it just me? I don't see nobody like, yeah, I'm about to go get this new Sean John, cologne or Darion. And I'm not saying this stuff that nobody buys any of it, but I feel like that's the way, because they could cook the books or say that, that they've sold this much or they ordered this much. And I think that's one level of it. And then I think that there's other things going on that we're unaware of, and when I say that, I think like they have ways to make it look like everything is kosher. So for example, I remember when Donald Trump was running for president the first time, and they were talking about his taxes and how he's not really a billionaire and how he had to file for bankruptcy this many times or whatever the case may be. But he only would have to owe the government like $700 or something like that in taxes. And I'm like, I ain't never been a billionaire. I ain't never been a millionaire. But every year, me and my husband owe the IRS, and we ain't close to a billionaire. So it's like, how do little old me and my little old company in little old Houston, Texas, always owe the government? Always. But the billionaires never owe? Or if they do, they only owe $700? What I would give to only ever owe $700. Like, it's just like, that kind of shit just doesn't make sense to me. And so to me, if something don't add up, it's a lie somewhere. And to me, somebody's lying. These people are lying. And so when she says, they're using other people's money and to cook it and do whatever it is to clean it, I think that's what she's referring to. But I could be wrong about that, because I'm not a psychic and I don't know any psychics. So, but I really highly recommend go watch, if you like anything she said here about Jay-Z, or you're interested in the whole video, go watch the whole video. Her name's Sloan Bella. And then if you want to know about Diddy, go watch her videos on Kim Porter. She did all of these videos prior to, when I say all these videos, not this one. I think this one was after the whole Diddy stuff started unraveling. But all of the other stuff with Diddy, she did like, I feel like maybe a year before Cassie dropped her lawsuit. Maybe 8 months to a year, something like that. She did those videos about Kim Porter and basically rolled out what was going to happen. What did happen? I was like, yo, But it's interesting to me that Diddy is, I haven't watched any other case, but from what I understand, he is being held or whatever. The charges that stuck were prostitution. It's the same thing that what's that man's name? Epstein got charged with prostitution. That's really what we're doing. All of the shit we didn't see, all of the internet, I mean not internet, all of the whole entertainment industry going on mute. And all we have is prostitution. It's like, wow. Somebody stepped in and did something. Kind of makes me reminds me of Scandal, where what's her name? What's it called? Oh God, I can't remember her name. But she's like the youngest little lawyer at Olivia Pope's firm, and she's on trial for assault, the Citron bombing or whatever it was. And then the DA or the prosecution was basically about to send Quinn to jail, Quinn Perkins. They're about to send her to jail. And then suddenly the defense, asked the court if they could do some sort of, throw the case out type of thing. And when they asked, because it never happens, it never works really, the judge said, yes, I don't think that the state has proven its case. So I'm going to, go ahead and overrule. We don't even need the jury. That's what I feel like happening with Epstein. I know that's what happened with him initially anyways. And for years. And then I feel like that's what happened with Diddy. Because how do you charge this man with RICO and all this other stuff? And then the only thing that they find him guilty on is prostitution? That shit is crazy. But shit happens, right? So I think whatever happens in the next 15 people that's gonna get drugged through all of the things that P. Diddy and others have probably participated in and gotten drugged or charged for it, they're gonna get to go through it too, but they probably gonna get the same little sentences of time served and go on about your life. And these people who came and told their story and whatever else, the ones that did the whole, well, I was into it, I wanted to do it and all that kind of stuff, I think those people were told to do that. That's just my opinion. Because if you go down that rabbit hole with the bodies that seem to be attached in some way to Jay-Z and Diddy, you'll be kind of like, oh yeah, well, yeah, I enjoyed it. I did it. He didn't force me to do anything. Yeah, I'm gonna say that because I ain't trying to have. Who knows what you can have, done to me. I'm here running laps and in the best shape of my life one day, and then the next day, boom, I got a brain aneurysm. My husband suddenly died of low-bar pneumonia. It's just like, what the? So yeah, I'm gonna sit there and be like, yep, that's what I wanted to do. And so of course, it's gonna make it seem like these people, there was no coercion, and there was nobody being forced to do anything. And yeah, I can't believe these people. It's like, do you know how many victims recant? Go watch that movie. What's the name of that damn movie? Oh God, it's I think it's on Netflix. It's called Unbelievable. Go watch it. Watch it with no bias. Go watch it. You will see what I mean when I say victims will recant their story. Anyway, I wasn't even talking about Diddy. He didn't call a stray, but he deserved every type of stray. And I wonder, because I don't think he's been sentenced yet, but I have a feeling he ain't gonna be in there for the rest of his life for prostitution. For being found guilty of prostitution, I don't see it. If Donald Trump can be accused of sexually assaulting 27, 30 women, something like that, and then be found guilty of how many felonies and still be able to become president, why on earth would we keep Diddy in jail? Now, I think they both need to be in jail personally for the rest of their life. That's how I personally feel. But, the world, they done moved on already. All right, so let's move on from, look, I like to listen to her say, Jay-Z, this is coming to a screeching halt. Let me see. I want to say it one more time.
Take other people's money, clean it, move things all about the country under the guise of their creative talents. Now, Jay-Z, this is going to come to a screeching halt. Screeching halt. Russell Simmons pops up in the conversation, okay, in the conversation. So I have not heard head nor tail of Russell Simmons. He pops right in right now for months. I mean, he went off somewhere and who the hell knows where he went. Those words, that hiding will come to play in the future months. We're going to see conversation from Russell Simmons. It's either behind the scenes, something that is going to bring about a change in how the public looks at Jay-Z. There's like all kinds of things going on. He has a target directed at him because people want him found out. Beyonce does as well. This is what they're doing. Changing the candle wax, upping the game, upping the ante. The energy is very, very odd, but this is what I feel. So it's 3 years, and then in the year 2036, it no longer exists. He is a expression of his former self, and that former self is contained in such a way that we don't recognize it, and it doesn't have the power that it wields right now. So we are in a long line of circumstances happening right now with a takedown, and it's just waiting for them to be taken down, and they've been promised otherwise. They have been promised otherwise. They, Jay-Z, Beyonce, all of the other ones I mentioned, but this is about Jay-Z, they are in the process. Now, what I am seeing is...
So I think that he going down. I think Beyonce going down, and I feel bad for their children, if I'm being honest. So I know I said I was going to go down this rabbit hole with Aaliyah and everything, but I'll just save that for tomorrow because I'm actually very tired. So thanks for, all your support. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Chanel's Reality. I'm Chanel, and this is my reality. If you guys could just do me a favor, hit the like button, share my videos, hit the notifications bell so you know when I'm going to go live or when I upload, or, it'll give you all of the indications. It's a free and easy way to, support my channel when you can. So at any rate, you guys have a good rest of your night. I'm about to lay down and watch a little bit of House, I think is what I'm going to watch, and go to sleep. So until next time, Chanel's Angels, I will talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.